15, Mike? Or
15. Wow. A day late, but 15.
I don't care. Good shit to do. So do you. Welcome to episode 15
have shit to do.
of the worst radio show.
Wow.
It's the first time I've done that in 15 episodes of the Old Fashioned Podcast. It's because Wayne's here. It threw me off. Wayne's here.
Pete's going to rip you for that one.
Yeah, whatever. You think Pete listens to this podcast, please?
You want to bet?
Oh, God.
Pete listens and monitors and watches anything and everything.
We talked about that last week of you and the microphone and him pulling up security footage and photoshopping. And
photoshopping me with a microphone the size of my head walking into the warehouse. Yeah,
that was great.
I did bring everything home, so I can actually do this stuff again, I guess.
Oh, according to him, it was always at home, so we'll never know.
Right, we'll never know. Never know the truth.
Anyway, welcome to episode 15. Me, Mike, and Wayne here today. I was going to tell you the funny story of Finn's birthday. We got him doggy ice cream from Publix. And you guys know, if you don't know and you're listening, my dog he's a tiny boy. He's a little guy. And we gave him a cup of ice cream. We're like, happy birthday. We sang to him. We put it down. And after about 20 minutes, he puked twice on the rug. Oh. So we called my mom, who's like dog expert. We're like, what do we do? She's like, you don't give him the whole cup. You take a little teaspoon and drop it in his bowl. He's a tiny boy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did he, our question, so the dog threw up, did he go straight for the carpet? Or any type of matting or carpet? Oh, okay.
He was in my patio.
Here you go.
Yeah, I've noticed that dogs, when they yak, they immediately go to
the hardest place
carpet,
to clean it up.
Oh yeah, whatever. Like if you got floorboards with cracks in them, that's the spot.
Right in the crack.
It's the worst spot possible. They're just like, it's in their nature to fuck shit up.
Yeah, they're the nicest, most difficult dog. I was telling them too, because in my studio I have insulation by the garage door, and he tries to eat it, and I constantly yell at him. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on him.
It looks like popcorns.
It does. It's
tasty snack.
Candy. God, delicious. When you're a kid, did you ever look at insulation and you go,
yeah,
that looks good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I need
that and those little white water softener salt tablet things.
Oh yeah.
The like little pellets that look like Mentos.
Yeah, look a little like semi-flat marbles.
Yeah, like
Dippin' Dots.
I could eat that.
But we said when we were kids, it's not like adults eating Tide Pods now.
Yeah. Well, at the warehouse, Colt, there was the spray insulation, the foam insulation.
Yeah.
Like a piece had like clumped up when we redid the room and like fell on the floor. He's like, "Oh, there's mac and cheese on the floor over there." I'm like, "What?"
Oh yeah, mac and cheese.
Like somebody left mac and cheese on the. He's like, "Yeah, there's mac and cheese over there on the floor." I'm like, "Show me what you're talking about here. I gotta see this, buddy." And he showed me. I was dying. I was like, "Oh my god, it looked like mac and cheese, like Panera Bread mac and cheese on the floor."
The other thing too is with insulation, they put Pink Panther on the wrap on it.
Yeah, make it look kid friendly.
It looks completely kid. I touched it once and then I was like, "Oh, my hands!"
Yeah, super not.
Yeah, just touch it and then take a nice hot shower. That'd be great.
I remember once when I was a kid, my dad let me pump the gasoline, and then he said something to me because he had walked like around the car to get the thing to clean the window, and he said something to me, and I pulled it out as I was turning to talk to him, and just gas everywhere on the car in my eyes.
So here's a funny. I heard this the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah." When you fill up your gas tank, do you round off the numbers, or are you a savage and you just let it go wherever it lands?
Nah, I go to that bitch clicks.
Yeah.
I go to click.
You don't round it up. There's like there's a group of people who are like obsessed with making sure it's an even number, and I was like, I've never really noticed that. I'm just kind of like a Neanderthal and just go.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah.
But what if you hit like 61? Do you have to go to
right.
62?
Well, that's the thing. So these people were talking about it. They're like, yeah, like. I'm like, so what happens if like you're like 1986, 1993, 1995, 2001?
Back in the day,
I got to round up to 22. Like, where does it end? But what if you miss 22? Then your tank's overfilling and just. Yeah.
remember when we first started driving though, we were cash. So you did have to play that game because you didn't want to go over because you only had a $20 bill on you. You got $20 worth of gas.
Yeah, debit
There used
cards.
to be a Seinfeld commercial for Visa or something where he was like trying to stay at 20 even, and then he went to 2001, and the guy was like, aha, and then he pulled out his card like, aha.
Yep. I remember Bank of America for a while had like the roundup service where if you had change on your like if it came to like 23.05, they would take the 95 cents and then put it in your savings.
Oh,
which is actually cool. But you
can do that with Acorn now.
Yeah, you get, and invest. I had it for a little while, and then I just
I did too. I couldn't get it to a place that I was happy with because it would just take money from my bank account, which didn't. I don't know. I wasn't all too keen with it, but
yeah, and I was never financially stable enough to be like, okay, now I have a bank account that I could just maintain a balance. It was always like paycheck wiped out.
I see your face, Mike. It puts it into the Acorn account. You can take it back out. But the whole point of Acorn was, like Wayne said, if you spent 05, it put 95 into the Acorn account, charged you the $26 or whatever it was, if it was 25.05 that you were over, and then you had the separate accounts. You got the money back. It wasn't that. The issue is that it would be like 26.05, and then it would charge me 30, and it would take $4.95 and move it. And I was like, that's not what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I mean, I used to do that all the time when I used cash a lot. I would always take my pocket change and then throw it in a jar at home.
Oh yeah.
But like, how often do you use cash nowadays?
Go to the bank.
Nobody's using cash.
You can ask them for rolls, and you roll all the coins.
Who's editing this podcast now?
Nate is probably editing this one.
Sorry, Nate.
Why would you do?
What'd you do?
I looked up at my screen, and apparently Audacity decided to stop recording.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so how much of the podcast are you not on?
I was up to like 5 minutes, and then it stopped. So how long is your recording?
I just
7:39.
Yeah.
7:30. So I'm about a minute and a half out.
All right. Good luck. I'm gonna tell Max that now.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Where's Max?
So I don't know I don't know what it cut out. If it cut out my water softener eating, or the fact that I also am a Neanderthal when it comes to pumping gas.
Yeah. Just send it. Just whatever it comes out to.
Just let it rip.
I remember when I first started. Yeah, like Kevin was saying, when I first started driving, I used to always round up because I think that was just the way my dad taught me to pump gas. It was like, oh yeah, you got to even it out. But there's people who legit, it will ruin their day, like OCD crazy people.
Also, if you remember back then, you would pump your gas before you paid.
Right. Yeah.
So if you just had a 20 in your pocket, you're 20, and then you walk in, tell them what you put.
When did that change?
The world's way less trusting. When it went above 99 cents
I feel
a
like
gallon.
I was honestly going to say like 9/11. So hear me out here. I think we're in an alternate timeline, and I think 9/11 was where everything changed.
All right, go for it. I'm here for this.
Let's hear this. I want to hear this.
I just feel like things, like if like the way things are going and the way things have been going are so fucking whacked that I'm pretty sure like it was going along, and then 9/11 happened, and then boom, we're in this alternate timeline. It just it's I don't know, because the whole like Mandela effect, the Berenstein Bears and Bernstein Bears. It was Berenstein Bears. It was not Bernstein Bears.
What about where do you stand on Shazam?
Shazam, yeah, like that. That was a thing. I remember
Who was in
Shazam
though?
I know it was Kazam or something. No, there was a
Shazam is Shaq. That's not the Mandela effect one. Shazam is. Are you a?
That was like the Sinbad movie,
question.
right?
Okay, you're on that side. All right,
yeah, I remember that as in my childhood. Fuck that shit. They're like, I'm pretty sure we're in an alternate timeline. So, without getting too crazy.
No, let's get crazy. So, did the whole entire Earth get sucked into this alternate like wormhole timeline, or was there some merging of timelines where some of us were one timeline and the rest of us were another one?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but in my own personal life, I feel like things were going a certain way, and then things got changed and weird, and it was right around, like I could tie back vividly around that time period, because there was like, that was like right when, like Mike, when you just said like gas went to 99 cents or went over $1.
Yeah.
Like I remember in high school we were paying like 80 cents a gallon for gas, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, $1.25, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go broke. I can't.
Yeah,
like,
that was back when you thought $2 was
I
astronomical.
can't drive to the show in Dix Hills today. There's no
I mean,
way
you could get after a show, you could get McDonald's for $2-3 and be fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't show up with 5+,
I remember like $20, and you were in the show. You could grab a CD, and you could go to the diner afterwards, and have enough gas in your car, and that was good. That was all you needed was $20.
$20 for a Saturday night.
And so,
I like
so
it.
like I used to run a racket back in the day. What I would do is I don't know if I want to admit to these felonies on a recording, but I would steal my dad's Home Depot receipts from his job. Like he would always have.
I already like where
Yeah,
this is
this is a
going.
good
I
one.
know about this. I think I was party to a few of these.
So you would like, he would always be buying like contractor bags, and they were always in the garden section. So I'd walk in through the garden, grab a box of the $25 contractor bags, bring it up to the return with the receipt.
Oh no!
Take cash. Boom.
Wayne and
Genius.
John,
Oh my god! Wait.
our old guitarists and like one of our first bands, not our first band, but they also stole all of the T-shirts for our first merch run. So it was pure.
You stole them?
Stole the shirts so we could get them screen printed.
Oh, so you could make the
So
shirts.
the only thing we paid for was for our friend who will remain. We'll keep his name out of it.
Yeah, keep him out of this.
Our friend that will remain nameless could print them. So the only thing we paid for was the shirts to get printed. But they knew I would have a guilty conscience about it, so they didn't tell me until the shirts were out and being sold at the show. And then either Wayne or John, I remember who else was like, "By the way, we stole these shirts from was it Michael's or something?"
Yeah. We would go into Michael's with messenger bags and backpacks and just literally steal black T-shirts off the shelves. And then, so I remember when we were getting them screen printed and we brought them to the place, and he's like, where did you get all these shirts from? They're totally like different. They're different brands. They're different. Like it was ridiculous. But this is the stupid life we lived. I used to do a lot of shady fucking stealing shit.
He did.
But it's just, I don't know. It's bad stuff. We stole lumber to build the stage for a venue.
So somebody's backyard?
No, from
Home Depot. So
Right, but did you build the stage in somebody's backyard?
No,
it was at a venue. It was like at a warehouse space in an industrial
Oh
park.
my god!
Farmingdale, Long Island.
Yeah. So some crazy bands have played that stage. If we could just like
Every
run
time I
down the
die,
list,
Unearth, Under Oath,
you name it, Bleeding Through, 18 Visions,
H2O.
And then Long Island, Take It Back Sunday, Sky Can Falling, all those bands, they played
all
that
played
stage
on
a
that on the
100
stolen
times.
lumber stage.
So I was working at Home Depot as a cashier, and
Of course you worked there.
yeah,
Of course.
So after pillaging the place for months and running a racket, I was like, how do I get on the inside of this? So I worked at Home Depot because my dad's like, you're gonna get kicked out of the house if you don't get a job. I was like, all right, I'll go find a job. Walked into Home Depot, got a cashier job, and then so what I was doing was whenever I would work the garden department, I would just tell people, like my buddy would come in and just load up a cart full of like air conditioners, lawn mowers, whatever, and just like walk out. So we had a couple people come down, fill up lumber carts, and literally just, I was like, all right, you're going to walk up to the register just because there is a camera on this one. I was like, you're going to make it look like we're paying for this. I was like, and then you just walk out. And we lifted a lot of lumber that day.
I have to ask you, as a business owner now, is your opinion on doing that completely different?
No, because now I'm looking for ways to do that from the business side. I'm like, how do we really
Yeah, but
get
Wayne,
a
you have to
fleet of Lamborghinis?
But
like that's
wait, what you're doing on this side of it is actually legal because they're called tax write-offs.
right now they're called write-offs. It's crazy how like the tables have turned. Now this stuff is legal.
Now I'm supposed to do this.
Now I'm supposed to steal from my own business so I can not pay taxes for the government. What?
When we got the taxes back for 2019, Mike, I sent a message to Wayne and Pete. I was like, "Good job spending money, boys. You kept our taxes way down this year." And Wayne and Pete were immediately like, "Oh, we could spend more monay this year."
Yeah,
and that's
like,
when the
so going into that tax season, Pete and I were like, "Man, we spent a lot of money. Kevin's gonna get pissed. He's gonna yell at us." And then he's like, "Congratulations, the accountant said we spend a good amount of money." I was like, I remember looking at Pete.
Wait, this is how business
I
works?
looked at Pete. I go, "Well, wait till he sees this year's." It's like, okay.
you got to keep up with how much money you make. That's the problem,
right? Yeah, and that's the challenge because it was like, all right, the first year or two, whatever. All right, we bought a TV and we bought some equipment that we needed for the business. But then it was like, all right, year two, all right, now we got to do this again. We need more stuff. We need, it was just, God, yeah. That to me is still, I don't understand. Like, but okay, so you're making money. You need to spend all your money.
Spend the money.
And then you make more money.
I guess it's in the same vein as how Amazon actually
you can't lose money
for
too,
filing their taxes.
Because if you lose money for X amount of years, then they're not going to let you lose money anymore. Then they start charging you again.
Yeah.
So it is all a balanced game.
It's this weird game. It's really fucked up.
Which is why when Wayne's like, we could probably like do another roaster. Yeah, get the roaster. How much is it? And he's like, it's $10. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And normally Wayne's probably like, Kevin's not going to go for this. And then he's, what? He just approved.
Yeah, like when we pay the Amex bill and I'm like, oh, wow, that's an Audi.
Not sitting in my driveway right now.
And that's the thing. Like, fuck. Yep. like, man, well, that could have bought us another Audi.
I remember
Speaking of which, I mean, you could use a KC hot pink Audi.
Well,
right?
I think the plan is already in place.
You bring up an interesting point that makes Pete very angry.
We're getting a Bronco.
Hot pink.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be white, black, hot pink.
They have to wrap
wrapped.
it. That's my deal.
Yeah.
They can get the Bronco, but Pete is saying no, and he says he will own the tires and won't give them to Wayne.
Yeah, because he's a co-owner. He's like, well, I own 25% of that car, so I'll take the tires. I was like, no, that gives you one tire of the car
under lock
and a
key.
door.
Yeah, and the door and maybe the turn signals. I don't know.
The first year of DestinyCon, some kid, when we said how many people came, was like, added the number times the ticket price and was like, they made this in profit. And I remember responding being like, do you know how profit works versus revenue?
No.
People don't understand. They think we're loaded, but it's like, no, we have to spend money to keep the business going.
Also, like, there's this thing called cost of goods.
COGS.
Yeah, there's cost of goods, there's utilities, all this stuff that actually factors into your profit.
Insurance?
Yeah.
You have overhead? No way.
Yeah, overhead.
No
Who
fucking
would think
way.
that in a 7,500 square foot warehouse, office, and roastery and cafe that they would have overhead?
Well, that was always like in the restaurants. People were like, oh my god, this place is so overpriced. So like, okay, you're paying $45 for a meal for one, and that includes drink service and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, go try to do that at home for less. You go to the grocery store, you're gonna spend $150 on groceries just to make the stuff. It's just
But you have to make it yourself,
and you have to make it yourself.
right?
Serve
That's
it to yourself. Clean up after yourself. Yeah, it's like you don't understand. There's this thing called overhead. Nobody.
That's the thing
understands.
with COVID and quarantine and everything. You're just so thankful when you don't have to make your own meal at this point. Because I feel like at the beginning of COVID, everyone was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make bread and learn how to cook. It's gonna be great. These 2 months will fly by because I'm gonna reinvent myself, catch up on Netflix."
Yeah, it's gonna be
But
great.
now everyone's.
I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do all these things.
I gained weight.
I put it back on. It's bad.
I'm back on the horse. I'm doing.
I realized like not playing. It's the weirdest thing, but like playing men's league hockey twice a week kept my body at like a normal like weight limit for me.
That's not weird. That sounds like right on
Well,
point.
yeah, but like you don't realize like how much that was working for you until you stop doing it for eight months, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I ballooned up again.
When I bought the rollerblades after Christmas, I skated for the first time. Dude, muscles I guess I haven't used in God knows how many years. In my back, like lower back down here. I was laying on the pavement on the side of my house, and Hunter's like, "Daddy, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just give Daddy a second. His back is fucking killing him."
I'm dying. It's fine. I actually put rollerblades on like a couple of weeks ago for the first time in a very, very long time, and I almost broke my neck because the feel of ice skates and rollerblade totally different. It's
Two
like
different things.
I put them on, I stood up, and like my feet like literally like went out from underneath me. I was like, "Wah!"
Also, stopping on ice is way easier than stopping on rollerblades.
Yes, once you know how to do it, it's just like it's the easiest thing. Just squat. That's really what it is.
Or I'm even talking about spray and hockey stop.
Yeah,
you can't do that on rollerblades. You will go ass over head if you try to do that.
You do the weird like drag the one leg stop, like
either toe down or heel down, and you drag or sidestep on that other leg.
Because let's be real, if you got rollerblades and you have brakes on the back, you're a freaking loser.
You shouldn't. No. No, you should, unless you got short shorts and a neon tank top to go with it.
And then it's a totally different story.
Yeah,
you're
not playing hockey.
No,
you're cruising,
cruising down the boardwalk, looking for babes, big hairy babes.
But I feel better. I did go to I worked out with Tim on Monday, and again. By Tuesday afternoon, I couldn't get my arms past here.
Mm-hmm.
Second day's always the worst.
I was telling Mike, I was like, I can't move my arms. And Mike's laughing, and he's like, you'll be fine in a couple days. It took me till about Thursday, by the way, Mike, to get. I still feel it.
Yeah,
but
the soreness. It's like 2 weeks ago. We decided, let's go for a little like hike. We went to the Cold Spring Harbor. Like they have the trails through the wood. Yep. Beautiful scenery. You want to know how out of shape you are? Walk up an ascending staircase.
How many steps?
I don't even know. It was fucking brutal. I was like, we got to the top of it. I'm like, it was horrible. Then the other day we went to Lowe's and we got stuff and we didn't get a cart. So I'm like, whatever, I'll carry it. I'm carrying this heater around in Lowe's. And by the time we had left Lowe's, I felt like my arms were like shredded. Like I was just like, I just did a full on workout. I was like, holy crap, I am out of shape. It's so bad. And like, that's how you know how bad it is.
Danielle has a great picture of me on our honeymoon where there's like the 1,000 steps or whatever to the top of the Dome of St. Paul. I think that's where it is. I don't remember. It's somewhere in Rome. And probably step 600 or something, she turned the camera around and just over her shoulder snapped. And the face I have on is just pure agony. And it's like, why we're on our honeymoon? Why are we doing this type of situation?
Yeah.
Stairs as an exercise, though. Stairs as an exercise is the worst.
It's terrible.
It's the worst.
Yep. That's bad. And like you don't realize how out of shape you are until you have to try and climb a set of stairs and you're like, oh my god.
I also can't run. I the only thing I can do is the bike for cardio. Running is terrible. It's probably the worst thing in the world.
Not a runner.
I force myself to get up and run.
I hate it.
I can't.
I hate it too. It's the absolute worst. But
I will bike triple the distance if it means I don't have to run.
Yep. Get on bike. I have a rowing machine. I like the rower.
Rowing's good.
Rowers are awesome.
I hate ellipticals.
Yeah, it's like that weird, like, you get off and you feel like jello. Like everything in your body is just jello.
It's the worst.
Sound effect perfectly mirrors
the
motion that you make on this thing.
It's like the most, you're like, what the fuck just happened to me?
We were lifting and benching, and like I guess my right arm is weaker than my left arm right now. So Tim's like, oh, you've been jerking off with your left arm, huh? Because I'm like struggling to get the right one up.
Switching it up, man. You gotta play both sides, you know?
And then he's like, we're going to do fixed weights this week because you are not allowed on free weights after your little breakdown this week. Like, all right, fine, Dad.
Yeah.
Tim.
That
Anything else
fat-
exciting happen at
fat
King's
piece
Coast
of
this week,
shit.
Wayne? I hope this is the highlight so Tim can hear it.
Yeah. Make sure whoever's editing, make sure that's the highlight. Just so he has a breakdown, and then he spends the rest of his week in the gym.
He would have did that anyway.
Well, like even more. Like,
I'm going to say an extra hour because of what Wayne said.
Wayne called me a fat piece of shit. I must really be fat.
I'll show him.
I'm gonna prove to him I'm not a dad bod.
That's
poor guy.
like the most easily motivated person at that point.
I know. It's amazing.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're fat.
great point.
Tim, you're so fat.
Yo, you know when you have a kid, dad bod sets in. He's, I'll fucking show you.
My favorite is he's like, not bad for 30. I'm like, 30?
You young child. You.
Shut up.
He tries to tell me all the time. He's like,
Pretty good shape for 30. I'm like, come on, dude.
You're still basically
You're still
20.
naturally in good
Yeah.
shape.
You don't start
tries-
losing it till 35. That's like
yes.
the
He
downhill.
tries to tell me all the time that because I'm like, oh, I'm 38. He's like, oh, you're in like prime. Apparently, prime time as a male is 30
Yes.
something to early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sexually.
he's like,
Everything.
your body should be developing and working out. I'm like, all right, buddy, whatever you say. If I'm not ripped in 2 weeks, I'm holding you accountable.
Personally responsible.
Tim.
Yeah. Apparently that's your peak. Well,
Oh, it's
38's
I
peak?
don't know. Or that-
I feel like
I mean,
everything
I thought like George Clooney
from a body
level was
standpoint
peak.
for me, everything after 34 was just
yeah,
that's when it
broken.
really started to suck.
Everything is broken.
Huh.
Every day something new is broken. That's
Yeah, 34 and beyond has been the body does not want to cooperate. Because I used to go to the gym with Andy, who used to the old WRS host.
Who?
I remember the first session there. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm sore, going to work the next day, blah, blah, blah. But I'm back in the gym like a day or two later, and I'm fine. This week was like Wednesday. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could go. My arms, they
Well,
won't work.
That's the thing with it, and with anything is you got to keep doing it because like once
Over and over.
once you break through that, you're like, all right, it's fine, whatever. But like I'd say the first 21 days of doing something like consistently, it's the worst. It's fucking that mental breakthrough. Like we've tried starting and stopping getting back on eating right for the past like 2 months. So we'll get to like
Dude, I'm just
day 5 and friends like, I want Taco Bell. I'm like,
yeah. I'm just happy if I get vegetables in with every
Yeah.
meal. Like
lettuce counts.
if I get some sort of green.
Right? Lettuce
I
on
just
your
calorie count so I can still have Taco Bell if I want it, but then I know that all right, well, I used all my shit up. I need to have something that's not going to be a bajillion calories for dinner. It's actually worked
jalapenos
well.
on your Five Guys burger, that counts as green. That's a vegetable.
That's the Rob diet.
I honestly don't think a meal goes by where I don't put something spicy on it.
Ever breakfast?
Yep, I'll do hot sauce on my eggs.
So like Tabasco in your cereal?
Nah, I don't.
How old are you right now, Mike?
Won't do that.
How old are you right now?
32.
All right.
You're still a baby too.
Yeah, give it 4 more years, and then all of a sudden,
You'll
tomato
be as
sauce.
miserable as
start
me.
Tomato
bleeding.
sauce gives you heartburn.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So we made chickpea pasta the other night under protest. I did this.
It's not
'cause
bad.
it was like it doesn't have the flavor of wheat, but it also is like just very flavorless. Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah.
It's
You
not
gotta,
quite
like,
the card
Yeah, go.
like other pasta that tastes like cardboard or a pasta substitute, I should say. This just didn't really have much of a taste, and all you tasted was the sauce. But I packed so much sauce on there for the taste that like 2.5 hours later, I was like, oh man, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. The acid reflux at night has been getting me lately. Like,
You just got to manage the diet. That's what I changed. And coffee is the problem there too. Keep that in mind.
No.
Yeah, with acid reflux.
Yeah, bourbon is the problem. That's the
Bourbon
problem.
doesn't help you either.
No, I've been noticing that lately. If I sip a couple bourbons and then go to sleep.
Which bourbon are you drinking too? That can factor into it.
Yes.
Good.
Everything on the
Yeah,
show.
whatever I got.
I've noticed that Bullet doesn't hit me the way some of the other ones do. Like Bullet is for
I do enjoy Bullet.
just I'm better and okay if I have Bullet, but I also don't. If I have tomato sauce, then I don't drink that night.
Yeah, that's what you gotta like.
Oh my God, you have to manage it like
yeah,
that?
it gets bad.
Fuck, dude, I can't have both in the same
No.
If
night.
I have like a third cup of coffee, like no pasta for dinner that night.
Yeah,
that's
you gotta have
just
like
not
a little
happening.
bit.
Oh my
and
God.
You gotta play the game, or just
Can't you take like an
Yeah,
antacid or some
you gotta
shit?
remember to do
Can,
that.
but do you want to?
Just chug a thing of like Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned
Cool.
with what's happening in my esophagus lining than how I feel technically.
yeah.
It's good.
To me, it's the in the middle of the night where all of a sudden I'll be like, I'll be dead asleep, and then it's like
Then you got to wake up and pee.
you run to the bathroom, you think you're gonna puke, and then you get that like burning tingle in the back of your throat. Ugh.
Have you tried?
I've been hard on tequila.
Have you tried a Meprazole yet?
No, I keep Tums around. It usually helps.
Try a Meprazole.
A Meprazole.
What is that?
It's a little pill for heartburn that
That's the over-the-counter name
my
for that
gastro
shit?
recommended it to me. Yeah, you can get it over the counter. He gave me a prescription for a higher dosage, but you can get it like 100 or 200 milligrams over the counter, and it works really well, Wayne. But I actually don't need it anymore ever since I kind of altered my diet. I just can pop a Tums on the rare occasion that I get it now.
Yeah.
This is super old man conversation.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's who listens to this podcast.
It
It's usually
sucks.
people that are in
we have demographics already?
me. Well, yeah, because we just changed the feed to WRS, so it's literally all the same people plus some new ones. Yeah, the I could show you the demographics that we dropped in Japan. I'll tell you that much. We're not.
Oh,
we were in
damn.
Japan.
Because they're super into like being insulted, like they need to please,
And-
and like we just kept hammering them, calling them,
Fair.
just
See.
calling them out on all their bullshit.
So Mike and I need to insult the Japanese more often.
That's
to
the
get
way.
back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just have Pete on once a month, and he'll just
Yeah.
fire off some stuff about deviancy.
I bet they're not going to have the Olympics next year.
Did you see that meme?
Which one?
The perfect
Perfectly good Olympics logo.
Yeah, the perfect good logo.
No.
And then it's Japan's perfectly timed Olympics logo, and then it says Corona, and it's somebody with like a hammer or some shit coming in to destroy the day. It had 20, or it said 2, and the top of the 2 looked like a 0.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
So 2020, so you have all the rings, and then it had the red sun for Japan.
It's
Ah,
It's like-
okay.
it's a perfect logo. It's great.
It is a perfect logo.
Yep.
How do you feel they're still calling it Tokyo 2020, even though it's happening this summer?
So, I mean, is the following Olympics
2024 for this is summer,
I mean,
right?
if it holds it,
This is summer, right?
well, you think about all those medals are dated and shit, right?
Yeah.
I think they're branded with whatever the logo is for that
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yeah. So
Maybe
they're probably-
that's it. Maybe
Dude,
they didn't want
you
to
know
change
what?
all the Tokyo 2020
Yeah.
branding that they made.
That logo is legit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have tons of merchandising with that logo on it too.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I get it. Where's 2022? Where will the U.S. suck at hockey in 2022?
Somebody's like screenshotted the potential Canada roster for that.
Beijing.
It's fucking ridiculous.
2022 Canada hockey roster.
It's just, I mean, when your first line is Crosby,
writers?
McDavid, and McKinnon, like, just stop.
Stammer, Crosby, and McKinnon on line 1.
Yeah.
Marner, McDavid, Shifley on line 2.
Yep. Game
Oh,
over.
Braden Point, O'Reilly, and Stone on line 3. Hall, Bergeron, and Tavares on line 4. Barzal and Couture. Barzal is like the backup for line 5.
Yes, yep.
That probably wouldn't even play with
Right.
Couturier. And then
Yeah.
Riley and Hamilton with Carey Price as the starting goalie.
Yep.
Makar and Weber with Bennington as the backup. Theodore and Petrangelo as line 3 with Doughty. How do you say his name? Chabot.
Shabbat.
Yeah, they're the backups for. I guess there isn't really a line 4 for defense. But
no, it's there's.
Let's look at the U.S. one to see. Can't wait till that junior team that just won the juniors is a little bit older.
U.S. is like, oh, those are good guys.
All right, line 1 is good. It's got Gaudreau, Matthews, and Kane. Here's where we start to drop off.
Yeah, that's
Connor, Eichel, and Bozer.
Yeah.
Gunsel, Larkin, and Pacioretty. Kachuk. Oh, I didn't know he was American. Miller and the other Kachuk. And then defense is Werenski and Jones with.
I mean, that's a good pairing, but still, it's like it's nowhere near. Like even their best line is not better than the worst line on the Canada team. That's
Hughes and Carlson are 2, Slavin and McAvoy are 3. Gibson's number 2 goalie. What's his name? Hellebuyck, however you say his name, is
Connor
the starter.
Hellebuck.
And Demko's number 3 on the goalies. Yeah, we're gonna get our asses handed. Who's Sweden? Now I'm curious. We've gone down this rabbit hole.
Welcome to the.
Now I have to look up Russia after this too.
Are we playing right now?
This is the Olympic
you have any
hockey
cards you don't need,
podcast.
by the way, Wayne?
What's up?
You have any cards you don't need?
No,
I did so much Hut Rush and so much Hut last week. I didn't get any of the retro cards or what are the new ones that they just put out? Nothing.
What do you mean?
I didn't get anything in any packs. I didn't get anything good.
Did you have Cam bless your packs before you
That's-
opened
Should have
them?
asked Cam.
That's what you got.
Cam was making
That's
fun of
the
me.
problem. That's where you went wrong.
Cam was
You
making
have to
fun of
give
me on
Cam
stream
blessing.
for grinding Hut Rush.
Sprinkle a little syrup on it and call it. A day.
Sweden's Landeskog, Zibanejad, and Nylander, Forsberg, Pettersson, and Arvidsson, Olofsson, Backstrom, and Lindholm, Burakovsky, Carlson, and Rackle. And then Hedman, Carlson. Oh, that's actually a nasty defensive line.
Yeah,
Hedman and Carlson.
Sweden will be pretty decent.
They drop off a little bit, though. Dahlin and Klingberg, and then Lindholm and Brodin. And Ekman Larsson's the backup. Leonard is going to be their starter. Oh, I didn't know he was Swedish.
Yeah.
And Markstrom is the backup.
Yeah,
All right,
should be
last
interesting.
team. I'm looking up Russia. I mean, that's the 4 teams that would compete. Projecting Russia's lineup. Ovi, Malkin, and Kucherov. Jesus Christ. Panarin, Nemestikov, and Tarasenko. Svechnikov, Barbashev, and Kaprizov. Buchnevich. Grigorenko. How do you say his name? Grigorenko?
Grigorenko, yeah.
And Kovalchuk's on line 4. How old is that bastard?
He's playing in Russia again. He's not in the NHL anymore.
And then Radulov and Gusev are the backups. Provorov and Sergachev are 1. Orlov, Romanov, Gavrikov, and Zadorov. I don't even know them. Nestorov and Voinov. God,
there's a
so
lot of
many
Vs.
So many Vs. And then Vass is the starter. Bobo's the backup. And Chester is the 3.
That's a pretty good team, too.
I mean, having Vass and Bobo alone.
Yeah. Yep. See what
Vass
happens.
is ridiculous. I can't believe the Panthers are the best team in the NHL right now, by the way. Numbers.
When did they take that?
They haven't lost yet. They're 6-0-2.
Yeah.
It'll drop off, I have no doubt. Hockey's a game of
Philly
streaks.
just lost twice.
I watched Philly beat the shit out of the Islanders the other night.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Beat
but
the shit out of them.
They look terrible, Wayne.
The Islanders look terrible, don't get me wrong, but the Islanders gave that game away. Both of them.
I'm so glad that I gave up $50 to get NHL this year. Oh, this is the logo.
Gave up hockey for Lent.
I should.
Is that what do you give it up?
I'm not a Catholic.
Not you. I know you didn't. Talk about that guy.
Me? I don't give up anything for Lent.
Yeah.
I don't.
Neither do I. Hockey's a religion for
Yes.
you, Wayne. I'm not
I don't
even.
do Lent.
I'm not
Yeah,
even.
Lent? What are you, a fucking Catholic?
That's brought that up with the Allie of the night. She's like, "Wait, what is this?" I was like, I don't know. We never did anything with that. What about this? I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't do the ash thing. I was like, no, that's not us either.
Yeah, I don't
know.
fuck with that shit.
You imagine there's like people
I
that
have no
there's
idea.
people that give up sex for Lent.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
My favorite thing ever witnessed in my life was when I was in Syracuse. I was at the bar. Guy walks up to the bar and orders a Tito's in a pint glass. He goes, "Can I get a Tito's in a pint glass over ice?"
Got it.
And the guy's like, "You want just an entire pint glass full of Tito's over ice?" He's like, "Yep." And takes the Tito's, slugs the whole thing down in one just whoop, knocks it back, puts it down, and goes, "Yeah, I gave up drinking beer for Lent." And I was like, I just looked at him and go, Jesus would be proud. Just like,
Okay.
I like it.
yeah, he gave up beer. So he's just drinking just Tito's vodka.
I mean, saving on calories.
Not moderately either.
Getting to your happy place quicker.
Right. I was like,
You ever see the video of the guy who chugs the bottle of Jack Daniels?
Yeah, and then dies.
I think I would instantly vomit.
No, now I gotta find it. Hold on.
Like if I did that, I think it would instantly come back up.
Yeah. Well, Fran's been telling me stuff like working in the emergency room, like all the drunk people that come in, dude, is fucking. She's like, this one guy, he literally drinks 2 liters of vodka a day.
So they know him pretty well then.
And I'm like, 2 liters of vodka a day. I'm like, that's a lot of vodka.
How does he have a liver?
Exactly. Like, how are you living? How are you?
Exactly. He's got to look like he's 82.
Yes. Yeah. He's like 43, but it looks like he's 80.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then like all these people, like eventually their esophagus burns out, so they can't drink anymore. It's fucking crazy. I'm just like, I don't know like how you do that.
The chug is at 23 seconds.
Oh, God.
Does he have a straw? Oh, it's a butter knife. Or no?
No. That's a good chugging trick. So you put a
Is
straw,
airflow or something?
Yeah, you put the best is with a bendy straw.
So that's what he's got.
And then
So he's a pro.
Yes, I used to do this with beer a lot, and like I could down a bottle of High Life in literally like one gulp. This is incredible though. That Jack Daniels.
Yep, just down the hatch.
Do you just instantly go and get your stomach
I think
pumped?
so. Like,
Right? Or do you throw it up right now?
I think you would have to just throw it up right there.
Yeah, dude, let it come back up. Oh no, he's just gonna metabolize all that. It's gonna be awesome.
How quickly do you feel drunk at that point too?
I would guess almost instantly.
Because that's a massive amount of alcohol hitting your bloodstream all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like overdosing on alcohol. Like,
What does that feel like?
I don't want to know.
Yeah,
I'm such a fan of slow
desire.
drunk that something like that just sounds terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good on that. Thanks. No thanks.
I will sip my scotch. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, I have to go to a meeting for a thing.
It's a Saturday.
I know, but I have to do it today. It's the only time I could do it. So.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Why do you never believe me, Wayne, when I tell you I have to go do something?
Meetings. You and your meetings.
Who does business on Saturdays?
Exactly. What? Come on.
Madman.
The rules of business and when to work, and you guys.
But Wayne has taught us all that you should just separate business and work.
Correct.
They're two different things.
I don't do business while I'm working, and I don't work while I'm doing business.
There it is.
Okay.
What is this?
3 p.m. Asset download.
Okay.
Okay.
At 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I see what that is.
Just letting you know.
Talk to Alex at 3 o'clock. That's not a meeting.
Yes, I'm going to talk to Alex at 3 o'clock.
Alex doesn't work
Alex
on Saturdays.
Alex is bringing you soup to your home.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Actually, I have soup. I've been getting Whole Foods soup. It's actually delicious.
Dude, Whole Foods soup is great.
The turkey and wild rice is phenomenal.
They got a good butternut squash one, too.
Thank you for listening to episode 15 of not the worst radio show, but the old-fashioned podcast. Wayne, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we have you on again soon to talk about absolutely nothing.
Nope, never again.
He's Mike. He's Wayne. You can check out Wayne. He's is it still at Chef Wayne Face everywhere?
Yeah.
Roaster Wayne Face.
Yeah.
Roaster Wayne.
I haven't rebranded. I gotta have Twas do my new assets or something.
That joke was 10 of 10 for all of you listening out there. You can head over to kingscoastcoffee.com and get Heartbreak. Do we still have Heartbreak or is it gone?
It's almost gone. Probably be gone by Tuesday. We sold more in one day than we did all year last year.
I know,
so.
it's wonderful. So if you want
great
Heartbreak,
stuff.
get it now or wait until the next thing we do, which will be announced soon enough. But if not, make sure you're part of the Kings Club and getting your coffee and doing the whole thing delivered straight to your front door because it's awesome.
Roast
you can go
choice.
to rarejob.co and check out all the other shows that we have. You can go to patreon.com/rarejob and support all of the shows that we have. But until the next one, Mike, Wayne, and I bid you farewell.
Adieu.
Oh, the guy from Sound of Music died yesterday.
Which one?
Everybody's
The main
dying.
guy that rips up the Nazi flag.
Oh, well, all these people are old now. Like, that's kind of what happens.
Well, you all have a fantastic day on that note of people dying. We love you. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.